right, good day. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. We are PS's Awesome PlayStation podcast. This is episode 324. It's a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. Before we get on with the show, I want to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS. This is awesome. If you want to make fun of our trophy list on the PlayStation Network, you can find me at anchorlist_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at JakeSaw01. As always, you can write a show at psisawesome@gmail.com. Most importantly, don't forget to share the show with your friends. Be sure to leave comments. Rate this podcast as you see fit. And as a reminder, we're a video podcast as well. You can watch the show, if you prefer, over on our YouTube channel. And for new and or long-time listeners, we have a Patreon. You can support the show at $1 a month. And the Patreon tier is called the one and only $1 Club. You will get a free die-cut vinyl sticker in the mail and a shout-out on our show. So head over to www.patreon.com/PS. This is awesome. Become a $1 patron. Get a free die-cut vinyl sticker in the mail and a shout-out. And also, you can leave comments over there, and we will read them on the show. With that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing on Tuesday?
I'm doing okay. It's been a nice few days weather-wise, so that's been cool. Did some motorcycle riding over the past couple of days, and just getting shit out and getting it de-winterized and putting batteries back in bikes and all that kind of stuff. And even though it's been nice, it's been incredibly windy here.
Yeah.
And it really kind of fucks things up because it makes it feel a lot colder than it is, especially when and it actually kind of sucks to ride when it's super windy out. But other than that, doing okay. I was trying to spray some weeds earlier, but my pump sprayer was clogged up, so I basically spent the entire time just trying to declog it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Other than that, just typical getting back into the outside stuff. I got some home renovation type stuff is going to happen here soon, so I'm going to meet with some contractors this week. Excited about that, but other than that, not really doing anything special.
Yeah, very good. I bought some cement mixture for a home project. I gotta fix those stairs out front. It's a fucking project.
I think you mean concrete.
Correct.
I think you mean concrete.
Yeah, it was concrete. It was a concrete mix. I bought some concrete.
There was a guy I used to work with was a concrete worker, and anytime someone would ever say cement, he would get unreasonably angry.
That's so funny.
And so it's been drilled into my head over the years. Not that it doesn't matter. Everybody knows what you mean. It's like when someone says clip instead of magazine, because like when you have an auto loading pistol, it it doesn't take clips. A clip is like an M1 Garand from World War II,
right,
where it had a clip of bullets that you would push in the top of it, versus a magazine, which is like a box that holds the bullets that you shove in the bottom. But I will say, sorry, I didn't mean to derail your thing, but like I'm not one of these people that get really fucking anal about the whole clip versus magazine debate. Mm-hmm. What does bother me is when they use the wrong terminology in fiction or media where the person in the scene should know the difference.
Oh yeah, right. When it's a professional that's doing something wrong.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, that's one of those things where it's just like, oh, that's just like, I don't want to say it's lazy writing, but it's like they didn't even think that there was a difference there.
Right.
And nobody caught it.
It's ignorant.
Now, I get it. It's like, why would a bunch of game writers fucking know about guns? But somebody there should know that's like, there's a difference there. So anyway,
yeah.
Big digression. Anyways. I apologize. You bought concrete to fix your stairs.
Yeah. So, I got this fucking chisel, and I was like fucking chiseling off all the loose shit off the stairs and getting them clean. So that's my project. Maybe Saturday morning, getting them fucking repaved, whatever you want to fucking call it, capped. They need more than just fucking caps, so I'm gonna restructurize them. What a fucking project. So we'll see how it goes. Outside of that, been really fucking busy, man. One of my land played Oh, God. Saturday evening. I played Friday evening. And Sunday was kind of like a quick R&R day, but I had all kinds of catching up to do stuff around here. That was my Home Depot trip to pick up all this shit that I needed for this project. Buying groceries, got home, fucking beat. And long story short, worked overtime today. Worked all day yesterday. After work yesterday, I had all kinds of shit I had to do. I don't know, man. It's just like summer's in full swing and all I want to do is enjoy it, but I can't right now. So, for instance, tomorrow, well, I did take the iPad to work today to get the show notes done because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it right after work. So I had an errand to run, and then I still wanted to get some exercise in. And then tomorrow I have to go catch up with Shaner so we can look and update like the firmware. He has this thing he wants to put on my iPad for the fucking control, whatever thing we're using for the sound. And then he wants to show me how to hook up all the subs and stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow's like the only day next week. I got to run flyers out to fucking... So here's something that's crazy. So I was talking with Bob, the owner at Titusville Ironworks, where we're playing in May. I was like, yo, dude, I really got to get these posters sent down or brought down. And he goes, well, if you want to say hi, I'm down here Friday and Saturday. And I said, well, I've got a gig Friday and I'm going to a concert on Saturday, so I'll probably just come down during the week. And he goes, well, we're only open on Fridays and Saturdays. And I'm like, well, it looks like I'm not coming down unless I can come down Saturday for lunch. And he goes, yeah, we open at 5 o'clock on Saturday. And I'm like, I got tickets to see a concert. So like I printed off like fucking 15 to 17 of these awesome posters for our band so they could be hung at the Lucero show, but I got to wait a whole nother fucking week because I'm constantly operating around other people's schedules. And it's so frustrating because I'm like trying to weave everything together. And it's like I'm trying to get band practices set up here. That's been a fucking uphill battle with just, you know, people being sick, people having kids, stuff to do with this, that, and the other, Paul fucking working. It's just like, it's nonstop shit that I'm just trying to like navigate through. And then still find time for myself, but that's neither here nor there. And, you know, the podcast is obviously no exception either, trying to get this recorded, although I like to do it. Seems like there's never enough fucking time. And if I keep getting overtime offered, I'm going to keep fucking taking it. So I kind of shoot myself in the foot as far as having this. I really rely on every little minute of my time to get everything done. I got too many irons and too many fires, but... Anyhow, that's besides the point. I'm trying to think of anything else fantastic happened. I don't believe so. I was amazed at how cheap thumb drives cost now. I got a 64 gig thumb drive for like $12.
Yeah, they're basically free. I mean, flash memory is basically free now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a micro SD card that's like a terabyte, which is fucking insane to me.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can, and they're not like insanely expensive either.
It's so weird to think about how, and we know this. We know as we get older that, you know, the cost for these things goes increasing. It gets increasingly cheaper for what used to be $1 million. I mean, just think about your HD TVs, what you can buy them for now. They used to be like thousands of dollars just for like a shitty like 34-inch or something. But it's just the way technology works. I don't want to go on too long, Jake. I know you haven't eaten yet, and it's already fucking 8 o'clock at night, and I know I'm going to have to upload and edit and get all this shit tagged and stuff tonight for the podcast. So I don't need to go on more about my personal life and all the crazy shit going on. So we'll get right into games that we're playing. So every episode we talk about video games that we're playing, and this episode's no different. And I will say I beat the Callisto Protocol. And it was shorter than I thought it was going to be.
Sure.
And it was good, though. I really liked it. I didn't have a single problem with it. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of enemy variation. I can see that could bother somebody. But the environments were good. The story was fine. It was a good sci-fi romp, dude. There was nothing. The voice acting was good.
Dude, I thought it was a decent game. Yeah. I thought it was a good game. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was amazing. But I will say it had awesome graphics.
Yeah.
And two, like the atmosphere and the sound and everything was awesome.
Yeah.
In it. I mean, like you said, like the biggest complaints people can have are like, there's nothing fucking world class about the story, and maybe the game is a little bit lacking in terms of like variety and length or something like that. But I would say that like and an argument can be made about that dodge mechanic, which I personally didn't like, but I think some people didn't have a problem with
Yeah,
it.
it didn't bother me.
I don't think it like ruined the
It
game
didn't break
or
the
anything,
game.
though.
Mm-mm. No, I thought it was a good game. I'd recommend it. It's available for Plus, whatever, not Essentials, but the next one up. It's available for free download. And yeah, I mean, it was short. I what I really enjoyed about it was the linearity of it. It was great. It was like, wow. I think I maybe only got lost once because I couldn't find a grate that I had to crawl through or something, and like that was it. And
Yeah.
it was good. So anyways, I put that down. It put the bug in me to try some games on my backlog. That Rollerdrome game was on my backlog for a while. I tried that. While I think it's cool, I just the controls didn't fucking click with me, and there was too much going on there, so I just deleted it. I got through the first match, didn't really set with me. So then I downloaded Trek to Yomi, which is the kind of 4D or 3D. I don't know what the fuck D it is, 2.5D or whatever. Side-scrolling samurai, black and white, like an old samurai movie game. And dude, the presentation of this game is fucking awesome. This game
looks rad.
So good. The swordplay isn't fantastic, and it's a little clunky. But dude, like for free on the PS Plus, whatever the fuck it is, dude, I'm gonna play through this because the story is awesome, and I really like that they're leaning into the graphics on this game. I'm surprised this game I don't know if it's won any awards, but like I'm really taken by the presentation of it. It's really fantastic, and I don't know if they offer English voiceover, but I'm playing it in the Japanese voiceover and just reading the subtitles. It's fucking great. It's really good. But anyways, that's Trek to Yomi. I'm enjoying that. I forget who made that. Slow Clap, maybe? No, that was Rollerdrome. I don't remember who made Trek to Yomi. But it's good. What about you, Jake? What are you playing?
So just a quick sidebar. I checked on Amazon. You can buy a 1 terabyte micro SD card for $68, which is fucking bananas for something that you're literally just gonna lose in 2 seconds.
Something you can swallow. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm like at the very end of Resident Evil 3 remake. The game is good, but I definitely understand the sentiment about it not being as good as Resident Evil 2 remake. I think that Resident Evil 2 remake is definitely better. And I would argue, even though I haven't played Resident Evil 4 remake, I played the original and I did like that game more as well. But I like Jill Valentine as a character. I think she's awesome. I think the Carlos character is like whatever, but he's kind of like a neat sort of addition. I think Nemesis is dope. I'm less enamored. I think a lot of the thing is like in Resident Evil games, so much of the story and the heft of the game is in the atmosphere of it. And I think that like in Resident Evil 1, it was the Spencer Mansion. In Resident Evil 2, it was the police station. In Resident Evil 4, it's like there's like a couple different places. There's like the town, and then there's like the fucking castle and like all that stuff. And then in Resident Evil 7, it's the swamp, the bayou. In 8, it's the fucking huge the huge castle and all this stuff. But in 3 remake, you're just like literally wandering around some like generic back alleys, and you're just going back and forth across this 2 sort of sections of this alley, and unlocking puzzles here and there, and like none of it. Even though I really like the game, I guess what I'm driving at is I can understand why it didn't light the world on fire like Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 4 or even like the first one or 7 or Village. So I'm I do want to play Resident Evil 4 Remake. So I will get to that eventually. It probably won't be until maybe this summer, assuming we have or maybe even the winter time, depending on what games we have available to play. But anyway, I'm really close to the end of that. So, but over the weekend, I think it was Friday, Sarah was out. I think she was hanging out with Seth or something. And so I was home alone, and Resident Evil 2 just wasn't really, or sorry, 3. Like, I didn't really feel like playing it. I played it for a little bit, and then I just was kind of like, I want to play something else. So,
Excuse me.
I downloaded Wolfenstein: The New Order, which was the reboot from like 2015 or 2014, whenever that was. And man, I forgot how fucking awesome this game is. And like I played it when it came out and I loved it, but it's been like 10 years since I played this game. And the beginning, as most people will talk about, is still not very good. I don't like the whole plane sequence and you doing all this bullshit to get through this, like with your squad through this mansion. But once like you get through that and you do the whole like time jump thing and you're like, you wake up and you're with like after the Nazis have won the war and all this stuff, like, man, it's fucking cool. And I love how just like shamelessly arcadey it is in parts, and like how just over the top everything is. Like you played it, right, Fred?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember, but in the beginning of the game, and this isn't a huge spoiler, I mean, game's 10 years old, get over it. You wake up in the care of you're in this hospital, and you wake up in the care of this, like, I think it's maybe a Polish family or something. I don't remember specifically.
Like that.
But you're with this nurse and her grandparents, and at the very beginning of the game, you're hiding in the trunk of their car, and they're trying to get you like through these checkpoints. And there are these spots where there's like a checkpoint and there's a bunch of Nazis there. And the old guy stops the car, gets out, he gets you out of the car, hands you a gun, and he's like, "We wait here, you shoot Nazis." And it's just like, and then he just starts yelling at you to go shoot Nazis. And it's just like very, I don't know, like there's something so just cozy seems like the wrong word to me for these id Software games. And I know Machine Games did this, but like this,
it's got the spirit of id Software.
Yeah, I mean, just this like
familiarity.
We'll just call it like this culture of games, right? Where it's like you've got your Dooms and your Wolfensteins. I would even chalk up something like I talked about earlier this year in the podcast called Proteus. That game that I was talking about was like retro, kind of Doom inspired. There's something about these games where it's just like you're just running around just shamelessly just fucking murdering dudes, and it's so free-spirited and arcadey, even though the material is heavy, but it's silly enough that it's not like scary, even though it's some really fucking heavy themes and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, for Christ's sakes, the final boss of Wolfenstein 3D, the original game, was Mecha Hitler, who was literally just like a mech version of Hitler.
Yeah.
And like, so, and they just did such an amazing job of maintaining the spirit of Wolfenstein in this reboot. And so as soon as I'm done, so I played it for like Friday night for like 3 hours.
Jeez.
And then as soon as then I jumped back into to even though I wanted to play more of it, I was like, I've never played Resident Evil 3 before. I've got to just finish it.
Yeah.
So I'm almost done with that. As soon as I'm done with that, I'm gonna be I'm gonna just probably keep playing Wolfenstein until Stellar Blade comes out next week. But I'm really really digging it, and I can't wait. I don't know when, because Machine Games is doing this Indiana Jones game for Xbox right now, so who knows when we'll get the next Wolfenstein game. But both Wolfenstein: The New Order, I don't know if you remember, there was the expansion for it called like the Old Blood or something like that. And then there was the second game, the New Colossus, which was also fucking awesome, even though it was really hard. I didn't play the new like spin-off game where there's like the two daughters that's like a co-op kind of thing. I didn't play that, but man, I love being back in this world, and just you can like, I love how you can just like pick up anything and dual wield it, and just I don't know, it's just there's something great about it. But I do want to say, just to kind of put a cherry on top of my little contribution here, is that another thing that I've been consuming that is over the top that I'm absolutely infatuated with is the Fallout TV show.
Well, this is a news point, but go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, I'll save my conversation, but I'll just say, I did not expect this show to be as good as it is. It is fucking killing it for me personally. Anyway, but we'll save that for the news point. Continue.
All right, very good. So we're going to move on with the show. Listener feedback. Every episode, you can write into the show. Leave some feedback on some of our conversations. We prefer you do it on Patreon. If you are not a $1 a month member, you can leave us an email at psthisisawesome@gmail.com, or just go ahead and leave a comment on our YouTube channel. And I will say that Prescript_N is doing it right. He is on our Patreon site, and he is an active member. And he has written in, and this is what Prescript_N has to say.
Hey guys, was a little disappointed not to see General Practitioner make his debut at WrestleMania, but there's always next year. What a cool sounding character. I can see some You Make Me Sick face masks for merch, and some ambulance sirens and the entrance music. The character basically writes itself. You guys mentioned some awesome old school wrestlers, and those are some of my favorites as well, like Rowdy Roddy Piper and Macho Man Randy Savage. What I enjoy mostly about wrestling is the characters, personalities, and storylines just as much as watching the actual matches. There are some great wrestlers currently, but I feel like lately they are trying to take wrestling in a more serious direction, when I feel like what most of us like about it is the outlandishness. I think General Practitioner is just what the doctor ordered to shake things up a bit in the world of both sports medicine and sports entertainment. Turning to PlayStation, I recently got a PlayStation Portal and really enjoy the experience it offers. I remember Jake mentioning that he was interested in buying it as well, but had some reservations about if it would work well with his internet situation. I felt the same way, but without getting too long-winded about my specific situation. It worked way better than I expected, and somehow significantly better than the remote play experience with my phone. Would definitely recommend the product, even though it is only a remote play device, if you have any interest in playing your PS5 games in a handheld form. What are your guys' thoughts on the PS Portal? I think in the future, when the technology is better and less expensive, playing PS5 level games natively on a handheld device would be awesome. But I think it is also awesome that I can utilize the power of my PS5 remotely to play games on a light and fairly inexpensive device without having to really compromise on performance to have the games run portably. Even though you need an internet connection to remote play, being able to play my PS5 in different rooms and even in different cities without having to lug my PS5 around has been great, at least in my situation. Would love to hear what you guys think about the topic.
All right. Well, thanks for writing in, Prescript.
So what is this? What is this fucking like Walmart brand Matthew Berry fucking text to speech thing?
I have no idea why it's a British accent. I must have been fucking around with it. I know what voice it was going to come out in. Yeah.
Anyway.
So, thank you. Yeah. So if you
Great
didn't,
write-in.
yeah, if you didn't pick up on that, I appreciate it. Yeah, the general practitioner does write himself, or herself. But yeah, man, PlayStation Portal. I'm not interested in it, but I bet if I had one, I would love it. I'd love to dick around with it. I've heard that the Steam Deck can do similar things with remote play, but for some reason, people are akin to the Portal. Jake.
Well, the Portal has the DualSense features that the Steam Deck would not, right? So, like the HD Rumble and all that shit that is awesome about the DualSense is in the the
Portal.
The Portal. I am still very interested in buying one of these. My home network is so fucking weird that I am just so hesitant to spend $200 on a device that I'm not 100% positive is going to give me a great experience. The reason, I'll just explain real quick why my situation is fucked up. My PS5 is in my living room. My router is in a different location in my house. And right now, I have no way to get a hard cable directly to my router from my PlayStation 5. So what I have to do is use a power line adapter to run Ethernet through my house to get to my PS5. So it's like a hard line, in quotes, because it's running through my power lines, but it's not as good as an actual like hard Ethernet line from my edition to my router. And sometimes it does cause problems with the Wi-Fi, and I have a mesh network in my house as well for my Wi-Fi. So I do have a few different nodes, so it's not like I would have issues with signal strength, but it really is that wired connection from my living room to my main router that has me concerned. So once I get that ironed out, and one of the things we're remodeling is our study, which is gonna be updated into an office, and it's gonna have some more bells and whistles there from a networking standpoint. So I'm hoping that once we get that squared away, I can have more hard lines throughout the house, and I won't be as reserved about it. And once have a more confident connection throughout my place, then I'm definitely considering picking one of these up just as something to try out. Because to me, $200 is a lot for something you don't know is going to work. But if you're confident that it's going to work, I don't think $200 is that much for something like this. I don't know how you feel about it, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that it's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure there are really nice fire hoses out there that are worth their money, but I just don't have a need for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those situations. Like, I'm sure there's really awesome tools that I could get a good deal on, but I'm not going to use them, so I'm not going to pick it up. I mean, I have a dedicated gaming place, and I don't really right now travel enough to justify the need or the want to take a PS Portal with me anywhere. And I don't know, man. Like I think there's
for me,
value to it.
For me, this would be strictly like if Sarah's using the TV and she wants to watch something that I don't care too much about, I can like sit there on the couch and play the Portal, so she can still use the television. Or like if I want to go to bed, but like I'm not really that tired and I want to just kind of do something while I'm laying in bed, I can maybe play a little bit of something while I'm kind of chilling there.
Yeah.
You know, it's really like those types of scenarios. I don't know that I would ever use this outside of my house. I just have a really hard time believing that the connection will ever be good enough for that to really work, unless it's like a turn-based game or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that it would work in like a very like a game that needs to be incredibly responsive.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know either, man. But it's cool. It's a cool idea. I'm glad it exists. We had another listener write in on YouTube. One Black Talon comes in hot, and he says, please have Jake keep us updated on Tractor Talk. And then he also says, we were talking about, has a bird ever shit on you? And he goes, I was at a park when I was a kid. I wish I could forget it happened. It's so gross. Everyone's been shit on by a bird, apparently. I think everyone has had this happen, but we're made to think it's such a random thing. But there's a ton of fucking birds out there. Your whole life, you're not going to get shit on once. I think it happens to everybody. Don't feel bad, One Black Talon. Welcome to the group.
So I will say, One Black Talon is now my favorite listener. Not only because his moniker is related to a car that I used to own and love.
Also a bird that possibly shit on him.
But he got shit on a bird like we both did. And he wants to hear more about tractors, which, dude, I will fucking talk to you about tractors all day. I can get in the weeds about how I'm looking at, a fucking 36 horse tractor with a bucket loader, and I'm trying to decide if I'd rather have hydrostatic or a manual transmission and all this shit. What kind of implements would I want to take care of the shit in my yard? Of course, I'm never gonna buy any of this because it's like a frivolity that I can't justify the expense at this point.
You can't justify a $200 PlayStation Portal. You're not gonna justify a fucking $10,000.
Not gonna buy a $30,000 tractor.
Whatever the fuck it costs.
But I will. I'll throw some tractor talk in from time to time, One Black Talon, because I am definitely a window shopper in that regard, and it's such a non sequitur for this podcast. I'm sure it threw a lot of people off, but I'm glad that
someone
you
appreciated
me. Yeah,
and we got to keep our listeners happy. So, listeners, you have One Black Talon to thank. Next time Jake goes off on a fucking tear about a tractor. All right, we're gonna get into PlayStation news. There's not a lot of news this week, thankfully. I say that because I'm already goddamn tired, and I'm gonna under-deliver on the podcast today. I did some notes at my lunchtime at work today, and God, I'm just fucking tired, man. So, anyways, as what happens for Plus Premium members. Games come and games go. Effective May, we are seeing a lot of the Final Fantasy games available to PS Plus Premium members go to the wayside. They will no longer be available for Plus Premium members. However, we've already gotten Dave the Diver, which looks good. We are getting and have gotten Deliver Us Mars, and we've gotten Miasma Chronicles and more. So, nice addition, but we are losing a lot of Final Fantasy games. So, if you're into it, you got some new games on there to check out. And Dave the Diver is being downloaded at the moment at my house because I am interested in this game. It'll be my game after Trek to Yomi, probably.
I hear very good things about it.
Yeah, I hear it's cool. All right, so the next news point, which maybe not a lot of people give a shit about, but maybe someone does. So I want to put this in here. They're making a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie. I have not seen either the first or the second. And there's a character named Shadow. And he will be voiced by Keanu Reeves. Seems exorbitant. I'm thinking, what kind of character? Keanu Reeves sounds like Keanu Reeves, dude, all the time. Like, I've never heard him do a character that doesn't sound like him. So for him to be a voice actor for Sonic the Hedgehog is going to be kind of weird, I think, personally. Jake, anything on that?
Shadow seemed like a very kind of hard and serious character to me. Like, it seems like I'm trying to imagine him doing, like, the Keanu voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's something about it. I mean, maybe I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It is kind of a weird crossover, but
I mean, they couldn't find anybody else.
I mean, to be completely fair, I'm curious what actual Sonic fans think of this, because I have never really given a shit about Sonic. I thought, like, on Genesis, it was very cool. It was just not very fun to play. I loved the graphics and the spectacle and the music and the speed and all that stuff. But I never really got into Sonic. So maybe people that have more of an opinion about Sonic have a
stronger opinion,
deeper feeling about this. But I always thought that that Shadow was like a dark and mysterious kind of character.
Maybe it is
not
a
that
good
Keanu
voice
Reeves
for...
can't be that, but I don't know. Interesting.
Kind of has a good whispery, kind of gruff voice. But what you did when you were impersonating him would probably have been good enough for the movie. Like, anybody can make that voice. No offense, Jake.
Yeah.
But, like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't... You don't need to pay Keanu Reeves millions of dollars to do that voice. But, fuck it. It's the name.
They probably just want his name attached to it. I doubt that it really matters. I don't know that they're like, someone is casting fucking Shadow and they're like, we need a Keanu Reeves like voice. They're like, no, we just want Keanu Reeves in this movie.
Who can we make him be? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who could he play? Who could he voice?
I'm probably totally wrong about that. That's just the way I feel about it.
So, moving on, Jake, this is something you already touched on. The Fallout TV series is now available in its entirety to watch, and I think it's on Prime. I did put on here that I fell asleep during the first episode, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't enjoying it. I put it on when I went to bed. And what I've seen so far is promising. And I will say this, it's much more violent than I thought it was going to be. It's campier than I thought it was going to be.
Just out of curiosity, how far, if you can, without spoiling anything, how far into the first episode did you get that you remember?
It was shortly after they were about to consecrate their marriage.
Okay. So basically right where shit kind of hits the fan.
Yeah, I saw shit hit the fan.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep. So I don't know how much is going on in there.
Yeah. But it was before the Maximus stuff with like the Brotherhood of Steel and all that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay. All right. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I think it's good so far. Walton Goggins is an actor that I really appreciate. He's in Justified, which is one of my favorite TV series. He was the bad guy in the Tomb Raider movie. He's had some, I believe he was in Sons of Anarchy. He's had some really, really good acting roles. Most notably, though, is his role in Justified. And even Justified Primeval, he makes a cameo in it. And Jesus, I love him as an actor. And he plays the skeleton guy, the sheriff guy. Forget his name. Whoever that cowboy guy is. Who's the cowboy guy with the melted face?
Oh, you're talking about in we'll say modernity of the show, he is a ghoul. Correct. And his name in like his original name, I guess. I'm like we're 5 or 6 episodes in, and I've never heard someone call him by name in the like current timeline.
Yeah.
Like whenever they do the flashbacks and stuff, they call him like Cooper or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, his first name's Cooper, but I don't remember what his last name is. But I will admit, I mean, he is probably the most interesting of the main characters in the show because of this sort of relationship he has with the old world versus the new world, and how he's survived that long. Like, if you've never played Fallout, ghouls can be like super old. Like some of them have existed since the war and like all this stuff. And so it's not like it's canon. But I will say that when we saw the first trailer for this, I remember being like, oh, it looks pretty good, but some of it looks kind of
too clean.
Too like clean and like a little bit it look like fake sounds very harsh, but like it looks like a live action rendition.
Like cosplay.
Yeah, cosplay. Yes, I did say that. But like watching the show, man, I'm not gonna lie, it's I'm not going to say it's Last of Us TV show level, but I would say that it's certainly the next best thing in terms of like someone taking the vision of a video game and bringing it to life on the big screen, and it's every bit as polished as a blockbuster movie. All of the set pieces are so meticulously crafted to match what you would see in the game world. Even like when they're using the Pit Boys, the way that the screens look, how they load, what sounds they make, how they're using them, like all of the Vault Tech imagery and the T60 power armor and like the way that the ghouls look, and even like there's like nuances like the stim packs from the game, like them using those, but it's like subtle. They're not like shoving it in your face. And I think that it's really great so far. Sarah and I will say, and this is not like a huge spoiler, I don't think. I don't know much about the pre-release content, but there is this character who's like the Brotherhood of Steel character, and maybe it'll change, like things will turn around in the last couple episodes, but he fucking sucks. And maybe you're supposed to think he sucks, but he's like he literally immediately reminded me of like a fucking dollar store brand Finn from Star Wars. Like if you like, I know you haven't really watched Star Wars, but in the newest trilogy, there was a like a reformed stormtrooper played by, oh, what the heck's that guy's name? Star Wars. Not Star Wars. John Boyega. Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyway, so this character, this Brotherhood character, seems almost like a copy and paste of that character, but somehow just like all of the bad qualities and none of the good qualities. And so I'm hoping that like they have a plan for him and like things get turned around. Sarah gets annoyed with the Lucy character too because she's so bubbly and like, you know, whatever. And I'm like, that's kind of the point of her character though. Yeah. I don't have a problem with her character really at all. But Sarah did tell me she's not like she doesn't play Fallout or anything, but she's like, even though I don't really like any of the characters in this show, I still really like the show. And so, like, it's just so atmospherically well done. They really do a good job of just portraying the ruthlessness of the wasteland and, like, how it's just fucking the Wild West all over again. And, dude, their portrayal of the Brotherhood, it's like, I forgot. Dude, they must have been inspired so hard by the Space Marines. Because, like, it is, I don't want to say it's a carbon copy, but, like, if you compare them side to side, they're so, like, they're both, like, basically religious cults. They're both based around these fucking, you know, power armor wielding, like, knights. Like, it's very, they're both, like, for honor and glory and, like, all this shit. And, like, it's really interesting, because even though I always played the Brotherhood of Steel quest lines in the Fallout games that I played, I was mostly just at the time interested in getting the power armor and shit. Like I didn't really absorb a ton of the lore and all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I haven't watched. You know, we still got a couple more, 2 or 3 more episodes left in this season. So, who knows how it will turn out? But I will say that first pass, I'm really, really enjoying it. And so I hope you watch it all the way through, because I do really want to see your opinion on it, because I know you were a big Fallout 3 fan, and I know that you also played Fallout 4, but I don't. Did you play New Vegas at all?
Yeah, I
don't
played them
remember
all, man. The only one I didn't do was 76.
Right. Well, you played them all after 3, like 3 and up. You didn't play 1 and 2, right? Because those are like PC games.
Those are like top-down kind of weird ones, like third person. I might have played 2 a little bit on the PC, but I never played 1.
Mm. So anyway, as a Fallout fan, I hope that you watch it all the way through, because I'm curious what your opinion will be of it. Because I'm really enjoying it, and I'm not the biggest Fallout fan in the world. I don't know a ton about the lore, but it jives perfectly with my personal experience of the games.
I'm gonna watch it, dude. I want to, and I will. I started it, you know what I mean, without any kind of nudge. It's on my list. I just haven't gone to. Beginning of the show, going on about how fucking busy I am.
The one final comment that I will make is that, dude, I love the fact that when an episode starts up, literally it says Amazon, it says the name of the production studio, and then it says Bethesda Game Studios right when the fucking game starts.
Or the movie, yeah, the show,
sorry.
Yeah.
And I do not understand, unless HBO had a problem with it, why during The Last of Us, like, why did it not say like Sony Computer Entertainment or
Naughty Dog or
Sony Interactive or whatever, like right at the beginning of The Last of Us TV show, or like a PlayStation Studios production, or like something.
It could have been some
Like,
sort of decision that they thought people might not have wanted to watch it if they associated it with a video game.
and I get that The Last of Us is one of those types of IP that would resonate with anybody, regardless of whether or not they played the game, based on the story, because it's so grounded. But I love how in the Fallout show, they just said fuck it, and they threw it on there, and they're like, we're gonna promote ourselves with this.
Yeah.
And
well, they said the sales of
like
Fallout are up right now, all the games.
They're releasing a PS5 and Xbox Series port of Fallout 4 on next Friday.
I read that you can get all of Fallout, the ones you talked about. 3, New Vegas. What's 4?
I think it's just called 4.
4. All in a bundle for like less than like $20 or $30 right now.
I believe it. And honestly, like, all 3 of those games are amazing. I would almost argue
they are really good.
That New Vegas might be.
They got Bethesda jank. Don't get me wrong. They're good though.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I think is funny about New Vegas is that Bethesda didn't even make that one. That was Obsidian, but still,
it's critically almost better than the Bethesda ones.
But even like, dude, Fallout 3 is so good.
Yeah,
and Fallout 4 is just more of the same. There's nothing bad about it. It's just more of the same. It didn't innovate like people were expecting. So I think that's the only gripe that people have with it. But it's still a great game. It still gives you all that you want out of a Fallout game. Just it doesn't, you're not being blown away by the graphics or whatever. Dude, that game had some amazing characters. Like that Nick Valentine fucking android detective character was so cool.
He was really cool.
And there was like so many other characters too. Dude, I can't say enough. This is coming from someone who generally prefers the Elder Scrolls from Bethesda Game Studios. But I still think that the Fallout games are just fantastic. And I am so thrilled that they are making this game, or sorry, God, I keep saying this TV show in a way that is just completely faithful, and they put all of their money behind it. It's not like some cheap ass fucking thing. It's very, very well done and very expensive. And I love that Todd Howard is is a producer on this show, just like Neil Druckmann was directly involved in the Last of Us TV show. I think you have to go there if you want your shit to be legit. And so, yeah, I mean, I've been ranting and raving for a while now. The moral of the story is that basically everybody has Amazon Prime.
Don't sleep on it.
Just watch this fucking TV show. It's 8 episodes. Who cares? 8 hours of your life. Not that big of a deal. Turn off, the Great British Bake Off or whatever for 2 seconds and watch this fucking show.
Yeah. All right, let's move forward, man. I don't want to get into the crazy details of this one, and this is exactly where we should get into it, but I don't have the energy. And I will say that Sony has already gotten rid of this leak, which all but verifies that it's real. But there was a new leak, not to be confused with Gleek, but it's about the PlayStation Pro. And it just indicates that the PS Pro is really going to be pushing ray tracing and graphical enhancements, and Sony's going to be really, really, really pushing studios to make games, specifically to run better on the PS5 Pro. So it's like a souped up super version of the PS5, apparently. So it's on its way. Sony has a lot of plans for it, it seems like. I still don't know if it's enough to justify buying one, but fuck, you know what I mean? Like, if they can recreate the supply and demand that occurred during COVID with the PS5 Pro, I mean, it's just going to be pandemonium if people want this thing. I mean, it depends on what they're really going to be pushing on this. I know LJ sent me a link. I really didn't have a chance to look at it. I can check real quick, but Jake, why don't you weigh in on what you're thinking about this?
So I have 2 semi-unrelated comments. One, I don't understand why companies do this thing where they like force people to take down rumors. Like, it's not to say that, because I think this originated from Moore's Law is Dead, I want to say. And not that it's necessarily a rumor. I mean, he has good sources, but it hasn't been confirmed by Sony. So for all we know as the public, this could be completely false. But as soon as Sony comes in and puts the fucking kibosh on it, everybody knows that it's real. And it's on the internet. It's out there. It's not like you shutting down Moore's Law's fucking video.
So this
means that it doesn't exist. It's already out there.
This is on Insider Gaming, and LJ sent me this. I'm just going to read verbatim from their site here. It says, today's leaked documents also confirmed that rendering 45% faster than the PS5, 2 to 3 times ray tracing, times 4 in some cases, 33.5 teraflops, PSSR, PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution upscaling anti-aliasing solution. Support for resolutions up to 8K is planned for future SDK versions, and then custom machine learning architecture, and then all AI accelerator supporting 300 TOPS of 8-bit computation, 67 T-flops of 16-bit floating point. Said Insider Gaming, who was also shared documentation from the developer portal under the condition that it's not shared publicly or privately, can also confirm that dev kits have been available to first-party studios since September of 23, third-party since January 24, and from spring 2024, test kits will also be available, which will be identical to the final product. And they say that the Insider Gaming understands that the PS5 Pro is currently aiming for a tentative holiday 2024 release, but the date could change due to the lack of first-party games released on the PlayStation 5 this year. Interesting. So, thanks, LJ, for that. Holiday 2024. I mean, that kind of tracks. It makes sense, time-wise.
Yeah. You should just, like, LJ, if you just want to, for free, just write up our news for us every week.
That'd be fucking dope.
Anyway, yeah, an unpaid employee of PS's.
We don't even pay our fucking selves, really. So if you want to come on and be a third member of the podcast, open invitation, we can just fucking.
Yeah.
It ain't gay if it's a 3-way, dude. Sorry, that's a fucking. That's a Lonely Island. That's a Lonely Island song.
I was gonna say, man.
The guys from SNL.
Fucking. All right. Anyway, so I already said my piece I already said my piece about Sony like putting the kibosh on this, like, and how it doesn't make any sense. But the other comment I was gonna make was that it'll boil down to how much this is gonna cost, but I intend on buying one. I don't know how you feel about this. I know it's kind of it's definitely a luxury. It's definitely a you know, it's a
Dude, I already put a fucking internal hard drive in my current one. I don't know if I want to get another system.
Here's where I'm at with it, Fred, is that I need, and we've talked about this on the podcast many a time, I need my games to run at like 60 frames. I cannot play games in fucking quality mode where they're running at like 30 frames just so I can get a little bit better resolution and all this shit. So if I buy this and it means that every game that I play is going to run at 60 frames and also I can get the ray tracing and the 4K and all that shit, then that's awesome.
Yeah.
For me personally. Mm-hmm. But it boils down to like, how much is this thing going to cost? And I just don't know. I mean, it could be, I think we've speculated on the price in the past and, you know, how much is it going to cost? And I think we kind of settled around maybe like $600 or something, but like, which is a lot of money, to be completely fair. And to be, you know, throw this out there, like, it is a luxury, and I would not buy this if I wasn't a enthusiast for the PlayStation ecosystem and I didn't have very specific interests in, you know, in having my games play a certain way. Now, I will say that I don't know that it's been talked about much online, but I bet there will be some improvements, maybe, I don't know, to the way that PlayStation VR performs on the Pro console. And also, I completely lost my train of thought. But I was just gonna say that, yeah, I definitely. Oh, I was gonna say that for the price of you can buy so I bought my PlayStation 5 for $500, and I could also buy this PS5 Pro, which would give me a grand total of $1,100. Let's say it's $600. $1,100 on PlayStation 5 consoles. And I will have 2 consoles for less than the price of a good video card for a gaming PC. So even though it is expensive as a frivolity, as I'm going to use this occasionally to play Madden, or I'm going to use this occasionally to play Call of Duty, if you're someone who uses it all the time, it's way cheaper, way more accessible than doing something like building a gaming PC. Or
yeah, that makes sense.
So, anyway, I rest my case on that, I suppose. I mean, that doesn't mean people don't have a case whenever they say that, oh, it's too much money for me. I'm not saying overextend or anything like that. I'm just saying, for me personally, this is how I feel.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll wait until it goes down in price and I'll pick it up. I'm in no hurry, I guess is what I should say. I'm fine with what I've got, but would I be excited? Sure, but I'm not going to pull the trigger right. The next news point is Ascendant Studios, the studios behind Immortals of Avium, I believe, which is also a game I was very tempted to download and try out, but I went Trek to Yomi first, and I'm going to go Diving Dave next. Dave the Diver. I'm probably going to go maybe Immortals, but they have furloughed most of their employees, and the speculation here is that there's just a lack of work for them right now. They're not layoffs. It's different to furlough someone than to fire or get rid of staff completely. A furlough essentially is like when the work comes back, we got you on retainer, we'd like to bring it back, but they're not getting paid while they're furloughed. I think they can get unemployment and stuff and whatever. It's different. It's a slightly different wording. But I've got nothing else to say about anything PlayStation. Jake, do you have anything to comment about that, or can we get to the closing?
I mean, my only comment really is that Immortals of Avium is a good game. I even think it's honestly kind of a great game, and people should play it. And it's really a bummer that this game just got thrown into the wood chipper and people didn't get a chance to play it because of when it was released. And I feel bad for these people because they didn't make a good game. So hopefully something will happen and they can get hired back and they can make another game that's just as good.
Yeah. Well said. All right. Well, usually we talk about games coming out this week, but there was no list on Push Square, so we're going to skip that part, and we're just going to go straight to the closing. I wanted to say one thing. Jake, do you have 20/20 vision?
No. I have slightly nearsighted worse than that. I actually technically have a prescription, but I never wear my glasses because it's...
So we're probably very similar. I had to go...
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to. Like, it's very rare. It's like sorry, I didn't mean to digress, but it's like as I get older, if I'm really tired and I'm driving at night, I have to get closer to roadsides to read them.
Right, same.
That's like where I'm at with it. But generally, I don't need them at all.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. But I scheduled a optometrist visit, and I went, and they dilated my pupils, and I forgot how bad that fucks up your ability to read a screen for like 4 hours. So I went back to...
Dude, a lot of fucking eye doctors don't do that anymore. They have like an alternative way to check your glaucoma or whatever.
Well, they dilated me, and I went back to work, and I was like, listen, I can't work tonight. I'm done. This wasn't today. This was last week, but I couldn't do it. But they test the pressure of your eyes. They put numbing drops in. They do all this stuff, and I don't even like get water in my eyes. So like it's really a miserable experience. My prescription hasn't changed, but I need new glasses. Mine have some scratches on them, and my insurance covers the lenses, the exam, and then $150 in the frames, which is actually pretty good. So I was there, and I was trying to find... I want to go for a different look this time around. I got my other glasses are the right prescription because my prescription hasn't changed. So I've got a pair of backups, but I was looking for some frames, and I was at the store, the glasses shop, where I got my test done, and I just didn't quite find anything that really struck me. And I know they have these online places, right, where you can shop for glasses, and you give them your prescription, and then but they have this thing, and you can get 5 frames delivered to your house for free that you think might look good on you. They show up. You have, 10 days to play with them, to try them on, to figure out which one you like. You send them back. They give you a return box or whatever. No charge. You don't have to buy any of the ones that you picked, but you say trying different frames. So I've got 5 on the way that'll show up on Wednesday, and I'm kind of excited to see what I look like in these new frames, and then I'll get some more glasses ordered. But I just wondered what your prescriptions were, if you had prescriptions or not.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pair of glasses. Actually, let's see, they're sitting right here.
Finding a pair that looks good on you is weird. Like,
I don't think these glasses... To be clear, these glasses are from like 2005.
Yeah.
What do you think of these bad boys?
Yeah, they're kind of narrow. Like they're kind of
very. They're Converse glasses.
Are they?
They're very 2005.
Yeah.
So
you look smart.
I don't wear them anymore because when I put them on, they actually make my eyes hurt because I'm not used to wearing them.
Yeah.
But they do actually make my vision a little bit clearer, but they make my eyes hurt. So
yeah. Interesting.
I went to the eye doctor last year just to get checked up again, just because I was, you always want to get them checked up every now and again.
Yeah. It'd been 4 years for me.
Yeah. And they're like, I asked them, I was like, well, how are things looking? And they're like, your prescription hasn't changed at all. I was like, it hasn't changed in 15 years. And they're like, nah. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not fucking wearing glasses.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of where I'm at with it. I could see myself maybe starting to wear them just to read screens and stuff, like at night.
They give you that glare, the anti-glare feature on the glasses now. For like if night driving and like the reflection of headlights and like the at night fuck your eyes up at all. They put a coating on, and it makes it better.
Really?
Yeah.
I should maybe look into that a little bit, because that's definitely one of the few areas where I'm like I notice it. It's like when I'm
Right.
driving late at night, like signs will start to get blurry and stuff.
Yeah, you
and
should get the protective coating.
So I should definitely maybe look into that. The only other place that I technically sometimes have vision issues is not the greatest place to have vision issues is actually when I'm on the racetrack. And I think that is more of an eye fatigue and strain thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's actually a vision issue thing. So I think that's more of me needing to do some kind of exercise or something, and less about needing a prescription.
That makes
But
sense,
I don't know.
man. Yeah. Well, shit. Anyways, I was just curious. So I've got 5 frames coming my way. The person who was fitting me for glasses there was a lady who was helping me. She kept trying to push this fucking modern age look with like clear frames, fucking Ted Bundy looking glasses. She's like, all the kids are wearing these. You try these on, see what it looks like. And I was like, nah. I put them on. I put them on, and she looked at me and she was like, you look really fucking creepy with those on. And I was like, oh, so you're saying I should get these? She's like, you look kind of dangerous. And I was like, all right, that's something George Costanza would want. They're like, that's the one for me. When a woman tells you look dangerous, that's when you know that's the right fit. But I just couldn't find. I kind of want more rounded glasses, honestly. I don't know, but everything I saw there was a little too much or a little too little. So I'm not going for anything crazy, like no new colors. I think black frames are the way to go. They have some really crazy frames these days, like green, red, purple, clear purple, multi two-tone shit. Like, dude, I just want a pair of fucking black frames. It's fine. They'll be.
I think that's where those online companies like Zenny and stuff make a lot of their money. Is like, our frames are so cheap. Just buy like a bunch of pairs that you can wear with different outfits. And I know that's not necessarily something that you're going for, but like, there is, I believe, there's always been a fashion to eyeglasses, but I think it's just definitely gotten more and more over the past 10 or 15 years.
It's become an extension of people's personality these days.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Because you see there's like people that are like heavy into like the thick fucking plastic black frame glasses. There's people that are into like the thin wireframe but like super huge lens kind of glasses.
Yeah, they're like enormous.
Yeah, so like it's in everything, cat eye glasses, like everything
Dude, it
in between
changes the way you look, for sure.
It really does. It's very very interesting, and I actually don't mind the way that I look with glasses, and I wouldn't mind wearing glasses. They're just an inconvenience. Yeah. Like it's like I don't want to have to remember to have these, or like I don't want to have to fuck with them all the time.
Yeah, right.
Like if I didn't have to fuck with them all the time, I don't think it would be that big of a deal.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
if I ever got to the point where it's like you need glasses, I'd be like, okay, I'll get glasses, but I'm also getting contacts. Because
I could never do contacts.
Just because you can't touch your eyeball?
Yeah, I can't fucking do it. I can't even get water in my eyes, man. I freak out.
It's so funny to me. It's
so
funny to me that people have that problem.
It's uncomfortable. Like it's really uncomfortable for me. It doesn't burn your eyes when you get water in your eyes. It doesn't like mess them up at all.
I mean, I'm sure that
it's not pleasant feeling, right?
No, I mean, it's not like I'm like, oh, this feels so good, fucking touching my eyeball. But like, and there's obviously going to be a learning curve there, but I'm not like grossed out by it or anything.
Yeah, but like what about just water in your eye?
That's fine.
It doesn't hurt you?
I'm not gonna say it's not comfortable.
It makes me fucking blind. When I get water in my eyes, like, I can't.
So you can't go swimming and open your eyes underwater.
Nope. I gotta have goggles every time. I got to. I can't swim without goggles, dude. I can't do it. It kills me. Like I'll drown if I open my eyes. I'll fucking drown because I'll be like, like it just.
Yeah, I've never really had that problem.
Yeah, most people don't. I don't think. I don't know, man. I fucking hate it though. I can't swim with my eyes open in water. I can't even will myself to do it. I've been caught unawares at times, and it's just wrecked me. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, like I said, it's not pleasant, but it's not the end of the world.
I mean, how do you even see?
I mean, it's not like clear vision. I mean, it is like blurry, but like it's not like
I don't know, man. It's a dumb conversation.
If you can't open your eyes underwater, like nothing I could say is gonna like
make sense to me. Yeah, you're right.
Can make sense to you. Yeah, it's
what episode?
It's like staring through. It's like staring through like a warped glass. You know what I mean? Where it's like everything's kind of blurry. If you're in like salt water, like yeah, it's gonna fucking hurt your eyes. Or like if you're in chlorine, like it stings a little bit. Like, but I'll open my eyes in my pool when I'm swimming around.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but I'll open them up briefly just to make sure I'm not gonna run into the wall when I'm swimming or something. And I don't know.
That's fine, man.
It's interesting.
All right, well, let's fucking knock it off here. I'm tired. It's 9:00. This has been episode 354. 324, Jesus, 324 of PS Is Awesome. The episode of this show is called Fall In for Fallout, and we thank you for tuning in. Please come back next week if you're a patron of the show. Usually you get the episode free early on Mondays. If you're not a patron of the show, the episode airs every Wednesday. So anyways, make sure you subscribe to it. Make sure you share the shit about it with your friends on your Reddit sites and your Discords and whatever the hell you do. Don't forget to put us on full blast at work when you're sitting at your desk. And we appreciate that. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week for everybody. Talk more video games. Hopefully I have more steam in me than I did today. I'm just really running on empty here. So anyways, like Ghost Song, Goner, and Guilt. P.S.
Yes.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.